Business owners, if I asked you the question, when is tax season? What would be your answer? If your answer is April, I can almost guarantee that you are paying too much in taxes year after year after year. Because when it comes to taxes, true planning should be seen as an annual thing where it happens all the time. But if we're truly trying to identify what is tax season is late August, September, October, and early November. That is truly tax season because that's when you can make the biggest impact on how much you pay in taxes. Now, if you and your accountant and you and your tax team are currently viewing tax season as April, how do you start viewing it as the fall? And what steps do you need to take to make that change? This video is going to help answer that question. The first thing you have to do is you have to get on a phone call with your accountant. And you're not just going to chit chat. Your accountant is going to bring information. In this call, they're going to bring how much have you paid in taxes thus far in 2024? And based off of our projections, what is the final tax be in totality going to be? So if I paid $50,000 so far in taxes, and the total tax bill at the end of the year is going to be $100,000, I know that for the next 5 months, I have to pay another $50,000 in taxes. Once you are armed with that information, you now can know if I do no planning, I know that I have to save about $50,000 between now and December if I don't want a surprise when I file my taxes next year. But because we are armed with that information, we now can start deliberately planning around, okay, how can I reduce that 100,000 to maybe make it 75 or make it 60 or even make it 50. So everything I've paid so far is my final tax bill. But if you don't have that information, you can't plan around it. So that's the first step, is you need to know what you've paid, what's the final number, and what's the difference between those two so you can plan around them. The second step is now you need to start having conversations around how can we reduce that number down? What can I do to bring the tax bill down? What steps can I take? Have you done the Augusta rule? Is the Augusta rule a good fit? Maybe the home office deduction is a good fit. Maybe you haven't paid your kids on payroll. Maybe that is a good fit. But if you don't have the conversation, you can't do it. Now, those things I just mentioned are very foundational, very basic. If you've already done those things, maybe it's how can I potentially buy an asset that will help reduce taxes? Maybe that's real estate. Maybe that's oil and gas. Maybe that's a wind farm or a solar farm. Maybe it's a farm in general. There are so many asset classes that also come with tax breaks. But unless you have the conversation and explore it, how do you know if it's right or wrong or not for you and your situation? Now, I'm not telling you to take this as tax advice. I'm telling you to have the conversation with a tax professional. Or maybe it's, I need to add more protection on the insurance side. How do I add more protection into my business while simultaneously saving taxes? Or it could be, how do I get a donation to help me reduce my taxes? Or maybe it's a little bit bigger planning where I have an exit coming 3 years from now. Is there anything I can do today that'll help me prepare for that exit 3 years from now? Or maybe it's, I have an exit 20 years from now. What can I do today to prepare for that exit 20 years from now? But if you're not having the conversation, you're not planning for it, and you're just assuming it's going to get done. And when we assume stuff, we pay way more in taxes than we're supposed to. So step one is to find out the numbers. Step two is to have a conversation with your tax person. Now, a lot of the stuff that I just brought up to you is things that your tax person is probably not going to be able to offer because it requires other licenses or very specialized services. So the question should be, if you can't help me get it, who on your team can help me access those things? And if you don't know, how can we work together to go find those things to make sure they're a good fit or not? That is how you tax plan, and that is how you take advantage of tax season. My recommendation would be, this isn't a one-time call in September. You have the initial call in September. It'll probably have to have a follow-up call, because if you haven't done this throughout the year, we got to scrunch everything into 5 months. So we probably have to have another follow-up call 2 weeks later, and then 2 weeks later after that. But at very least, we have to have a call in September. We probably should have a call in October, and we probably should have a call in November to make sure that everything is buttoned up and that your tax bill is as low as legally possible. If you don't plan, you do not lower your tax bill. And if you just assume that it's going to happen, the chances are extremely low that it actually, no, and I'm not going to say the chances are low, it's not going to happen. If you are listening to this going, my tax person is not going to go for this, like they charge me so much money to sit down and talk with them, this sounds like hours worth of work. You have to weigh out what's the cost of their service, how much I'm going to save on taxes, is it worth the investment? Or it could be, my tax person is not going to have any idea of any of this stuff. If that's you and you would like to level up your tax team, we have that solution. We have created a family office style tax team where we have a group effort of tax professionals coming together to help make your plan a reality. Every professional that you could ever need is within our ecosystem, and we will help you plan and execute so that when we get to December, you have paid as little as possible in taxes, and you've done it very systematically. It hasn't been random. It hasn't been out of hope. You've done it very accurately and scientifically almost. If you would like to take a look at our team, we offer a free complimentary tax review so that you can compare how your accounting team is currently doing it versus how our accounting team would do it. And let's take a look on whether we can benefit you and your business and see, can we save you taxes? I'm Justin Maxwell from Big Life Financial. Tax season is not April. Tax season is the fall. That's where we make the biggest swipes. And I look forward, if you want our help, to helping you navigate the tax world and keep as many dollars that are rightfully yours instead of going to the government. Until next time.